Hello and welcome. Today we are talking about beauty basics, specifically eyebrows, and an eyebrow kit that I love for doing every look imaginable under the sun. But the reason we are talking about this today is because I want you to feel comfortable and confident with your makeup. What is this eyebrow kit? What is it? There are brow powders, brow gels, brow pencils, brow pomades. There's so many different types and textures, and I think it really depends on the type of brow look that you are striving for. Do you know what I mean? If you want them light and fluffy and thick, or if you want them like snatched and glam, and we have different visions of what we want to create. I love this little eyebrow kit because it's pretty all-inclusive and it can do a lot. It comes with 2 powders and a wax as well, so it kind of gives you that pomade feel, keeps the hairs in place, and it's really for all brows and all brow types, no matter how fluffy they are, no matter how thin they are. If you're losing your eyebrow hairs, with aging or alopecia, it is a complete kit for expertly shaping, grooming, and styling your brows. I think this is important because it allows you to actually shape your brows and not just fill them in. Everybody's brows are different, and even mine, I have balding spots. I have spots that just hair doesn't want to grow in, or thinning spots even, and they're not even. My brows aren't even. Most people's aren't. If you are, bless you little hearts and souls, but most people's don't have congruent brows. So this allows you that control to give each the TLC that they need and help make them match. They might not be identical twins, they might not even be sisters, maybe they're distant cousins, but hopefully we can get them closer in relation to each other. I love the wax because it gives a pigmented color. It allows me to create the shape of the brow. And wherever you put the wax, it's gonna be a lot easier for the powder to grab onto that. So for my balding and thinning out spots, I can actually say where I want the powder to grab onto, and it's gonna give me that pigment that's gonna last all day. They're gonna look finished, they're gonna look polished, and it's really a multi-purpose use. If I just wanna use the powder for a thicker, more fluffy brow, or if I wanna really go in there with the wax to create a defined look, I can do that all with just this little compact. So for those of you who might be a bit more advanced that know all about how to create a brow shape and how brow shapes can change your face and change your expression, you're gonna have a lot of fun with this. And even folks who are have never even filled out their brows before or filled in their brows before, you're also gonna have a lot of fun with this. So first I wanna talk about how do we define our brow shape? And this is a little cheat sheet where if you're more advanced, you can just do you, but if this is your first time, this is where we're gonna start. So I'm just gonna put a little bit of powder on the end of this brush, and there are 3 landmarks of our eye and our eyebrow that we want to define. The first is, where do we want our brow to start? And I believe this is such a great length for a brush. It looks pretty small, but it's really perfect. But you can use any brush. I like an angled brush like this, so you can see it goes up a little bit. And when you turn it to the side, it's gonna give you nice thin lines. So you can do thicker, fluffier, or nice thin defined. This is just to get our landmarks going. So place the brush on the outside of the nostril, okay? So I like to do it let's go here. And you want it to go straight up, okay? I'm gonna try and get straight on here with you. So outside the nostril, straight up. And I just place the brush there. You see how I lift it off? And then we got that brown. So that's where we want our eyebrow to start. And then we're just gonna kind of go like the hands of a clock. The next spot is we want it to cross over our pupil. And here we go, stamping. That's where we want our arch to be. And the last point is bringing it all the way to the outside of the eye. And a little stamp. That's where we want it to end. So we have 1, 2, 3. And now it's just kind of about filling in the gaps and coloring it in. So let's just get the outside framework for you. Typically, they are gonna be darker towards the end. It gives a nice illusion of lighter in the center and then a gradient of getting darker towards the end. So you might use more powder or a darker powder towards the end. So starting from this middle point, I'm just gonna draw a line, okay? And starting from the top, drawing a line. Neat. And then starting from the bottom on the inside, I'm just gonna meet it right there. All right, and I don't do it on top because we want it to be a little lighter at the top as well. So, and start to fill in our little triangles that we made. And this one's okay to have like a nice defined top line in this outer corner. Nice, fill that in. Using the lighter powder, I'm going to start to kind of like fill this in a little bit more. And I actually even turn it so it's like long ways, right? So before I kind of had it upside down and I was doing precise lines. Now I want to like fill in for shade. And I actually brush it the wrong way. I brush it in. I feel like it gets nice, good coverage down to the skin level as well. And I'm okay like overextending that line because I can take it away and like as a gradient kind of blend it back. So I kind of bring it, you can bring it all the way into the center line of your bridge nose if you want to. Give yourself a nice unibrow. Helps keep them even. Then using a spoolie, starting at the middle, I'm just going to start to bring those up and into place. And now we talk about cleaning up the edges. So I like to bring in my eye base to do underneath the brow, and then I use my concealer for on top of the brow. You can go in with just a concealer brush, same concealer brush we've been using, wide from the front and it's thin from the edges. And right now it's clean, it doesn't have any product on it. So you can even go in with a clean brush and just, I like to trace the top edge of my brow. All right, kind of pick up anything there. And you can do the same thing at the bottom. You can even, if you have product left over in the middle, go ahead and just drag that up a little bit. That'll help bring it in. But if you really want to define those edges and you want to give that contrast, I go in with a little bit of eye base. Little goes a long way. And I'm just going to trace that defined edge using the very tip of my brush. And then once I have the color or the eye base like where I want it, I'm just going to bring that down. Okay. And if I'm going to do it on the top edge, the eye base has a different consistency. It's really good under eyeshadow. I do not want that above my brow. I don't want that on top. So I'm going to go in with a concealer, a little bit on the tip, and go ahead and snatch that out. Okay. If you're gonna do like a really glam look that you're gonna be spending a lot of your time on your eyebrows, you might find that you wanna do all of your eyes before you move on to your face. For instance, this is a cream concealer. If I already set my face with powder, you know, that could potentially be problematic. It's not for me because I only use a very little bit, but it's something to note. So here we can see with my brow filled in and without it filled in. And it seems pretty drastic right now. And if you've never filled in your brows, you will feel like a clown. Even if you just use the littlest bit of the lightest powder, it's not something you're used to looking at and you're gonna scare yourself. But I promise you, you're not gonna look like the crazy old lady that like pencils in her brows. You will not look like that with this technique and with this kit, I promise you. But when you're doing like a more dramatic look, if we're gonna be contouring, we're gonna be having a lipstick on, which we are going to be doing throughout the rest of this beauty basics series, the filled in eyebrow is gonna balance out your face and give you beautiful framework to work from. So let's quickly do the other one. There we go. Now they're both filled in. So did the same technique. I have eye base on my eyelid here and just, you know, snatched it out with a little bit of concealer up top. My number one recommendation for doing eyebrows is this eyebrow essential kit. For all the reasons I already stated, I'm not gonna beat it like a dead horse. I hate that phrase. I love horses. I don't wanna think about them dead. Okay, I take that back. I'm not going to go overboard and make it boring about restating all the facts of why I love this so much. But if you are more comfortable with a pencil, there are eyebrow pencils as well that have a spoolie on the other edge, and they are just really nice for like one step or like really quick fill-ins or something like this. But the most versatile and multi-purpose use is gonna be with this eyebrow kit. I've actually even heard of people using this little brush that comes with it, like the little point of it and the dark powder, and giving themselves freckles. So if you're into that, go ahead and try that as well. As always, the links are in the description, complete with juicy promo codes, so that if you're excited to get started right away, you can go ahead and get started for less money than usual. All Motives Cosmetics, always. I love working with that brand. This video was designed with the absolute basics in mind and kind of answering those most frequently asked questions that I get from my clients over the years and on a daily basis. If you feel that you're not 100% clear, or if you have an additional question, please feel free to leave a comment below. I will get back to you by typing a response and probably incorporate that into a future video. If this worked for you, please let me know in the comments if this was helpful and give it a thumbs up and subscribe. This video is just one of 14 videos in my Beauty Basics series, so head to the playlist link above, right up in that corner right there, if you want some more information and educational resources so that you can feel more comfortable and confident with your makeup. Makeup is fun, makeup is for everyone, so now it's on you. Go have some fun, try something new. I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.